All right, peace and blessings. Sappho, the Honorable One, the Success Scholar, Akeisha Cormier. Thank you for tuning in. Man, oh man, I want to do this piece. I'm just going to be very brief. I watched the film, the documentary 13th, and um, I mean, it wasn't necessarily anything new to me, particularly that uh, I actually read the book, The New Jim Crow. But let me grab this other book before I get into that. I'm currently reading Brother Wilma Leon's book that I got, Politics by Another Perspective. He's out of the DC area. He's a professor, I believe, at Howard. Yes, at Howard. And I got his book actually from Nisi's Boutique in the DC area. Mount Rainier, shall I say. But the film 13th was quite interesting. Well, I mean, again, it wasn't anything new. I didn't watch it like in depth because it's kind of, to me, I mean, I was already aware of it from reading the new Jim Crow, and actually the woman that was in there, uh, uh, the woman that was, I'm sorry, not the woman, Miss Michelle Alexander was actually in there, but the United States has 5% of the world population, but 25% of the people of the world incarcerated. And it says, I'm just going to read a little brief of it. She demonstrates that slavery has been perpetuated and practiced since the end of the American Civil War, though through such actions as criminalizing behavior and enabling police to arrest poor freedmen and force them to work for the state under convict leasing, suppression of African Americans, and disenfranchisement. Uh, by disenfranchisement, I'm sorry, under convict leasing, suppression of African Americans by disenfranchisement, lynching, and Jim Crow. Uh, Conservative Republicans declaring war on drugs that weigh more heavily on minority communities, and by the late 20th century, mass incarceration of people of color in the United States. She examined the prison industrial complex and emerging detention industrial complex. The detention talking about how, I'm sorry, demonstrating how much money is being made by corporations uh, from such incarceration. Now that the prisons are being privatized, and they have been doing that for quite some time, you have judges actually involved, and some have even gone to jail for receiving kickbacks on this. So it's really a very, very corrupt system, and this is where legal and advocacy astuteness need to come in into play. And this is where those that have that desire to be informed about particular issues need to step forward. With that being said, now I haven't had time to get into this brother's book, but I'm definitely going to get in that. But I'm gonna browse briefly as I'm talking. Let's see if he talks about the. He's more speaking on uh, the increased security, make us safer. I thought I saw some chapters in here speaking on that, but I just wanted to put that book out there too. But what is interesting about this, and I'm not sure structurally how being a part of the system is actually going to, transform anything, because I have to affirm that once the adults, those that have a level of cognition and cognitive skills, able to use, as Dr. Welsing alluded to, logic, thought, speech, emotional response, and able to use your deciphering and analysis and personal awareness to truly assess the conditions in your environment and make uh, direct and take direct action to avoid various levels of conflict. And what I mean by that, and many people may not necessarily, but what I'm finding, if we know, for instance, that what's 1.2 million black males in prison, let me get that correct number, but I know it's 2 million, approximately 2 million prisoners in prison. Uh, but we have to ask the question that what are young black males not getting this information, or is their abilities to make decisions skewed? Well, for instance, there are laws preventing certain people from driving a car. There are laws preventing certain people from joining the military. So there are some really social scientists as well as uh, neuroscientific individuals who are studying brain development and the sciences of emotional intelligence, for instance. And there are several books that are out here that's dealing with emotional intelligence. So my theory, or what I realize, is that, and not just from what I theorize about, but I can look back in terms of what I experienced as a young person, uh, uh, and what decisions I made. And sometimes I sit back and I reflect on them. Was I actually using any reasoning? Did I have enough information in my mind to reason about the cause and the consequences, or the cause and the effects of my actions? To every action there's a reaction. To every pro that you do, there may in fact be a con. So we have to look at these things and look at this prison industrial issue very clearly. But what I wanted to mention is that, although, for instance, 13th will get some publicity in a sense, uh, what about the film Gentrified? Right now, I was one of the was the moderator. Yeah, so I was the moderator. I had to think about it. I've been doing some different stuff. I was the moderator when they did the film in the DC area. Sorry, it's bright. It's early in the morning. But I just wondered, for instance, and I mentioned this earlier after I did the screening for Gentrified, but there have been several individuals, for instance, and Brother Jason has a piece talking about the responses and the after effects that people wanted to interview him. But I just look at it tactfully from individuals that are in the DC area or outside of the DC area, but within Baltimore, that failed to actually even talk about this film. And yes, even failed to talk about the 13th documentary. So I'm not, overwhelmingly concerned about that, but it really gets a little sad when, on one end you're talking about unity, and on the other end we are so uh, shallow and disorganized, where we do not encourage, we can't, have it within our heart to share particular information. Now, I've seen the film 13th. I'm sorry, or I was quite aware of the new Jim Crow, and advocating for keeping our young people away from this prison industrial complex. but and I didn't. But I promoted it for what it's worth, and I didn't do it with the intention of how am I going to make money off of it. Uh, and I didn't do it with the intention of thinking about the producers or who directed it. All the other little politicalized details that many people, who are small-minded, tend to view this. But because I want this thing to be massively exposed, and I know that this is a serious issue when you talk about uh, felony disenfranchisement. People can't get loans, they can't get uh, housing, they can't get student loans. Said that uh, you know decent housing, certain occupation jobs. It's like you gave somebody a scar for life. And you created a permanent, a very permanent. I know Dr. Claude Anderson talked about permanent underclass. Well, this is actually the having black skin and not having any wealth and resources and ownership and having a felony. You can't vote under certain circumstances. I'm not sure of all the details. I believe that each state deals with that uniquely. But we need to do better with our cooperation and our cooperative pushing forward out of an agenda. Now, I know some people, feel that they have all the knowledge and everybody should come to them about everything. Well, it would have been nice if I've seen some of these people, some of these groups, certainly in DC and Baltimore, who consider themselves conscious. It would be nice if you would have taken several books over the years and got out within our community and let people know about these different authors and different speakers and different teachers like I did. I took my money, got books, got audios, got videos, and traveled wherever I need to go to uplift our community, to give unique knowledge, unique access that people may not get from Amazon or going to the various black bookstores, or they don't have time to do that. So I made it easy for some folk, and I've developed a successful model, and this is why you all need to support the work of the Success Scholar. And some people, they don't understand why I would think that the work that I've done has been significant, because I know that I connected people to some valuable and insightful information over the years that could transform and change their life. But now I realize that you can't stay in one mode. You cannot stay in one mode. So getting back to my point in terms of the film 13th, and I would encourage everybody, if you saw the documentary 13th, the film Gentrified will be coming out quite shortly, and we may be showing that in the Baltimore area. I would hope that these groups that are in Baltimore and DC, I know folk will have Dick Gregory. Uh, they will promote for Dick Gregory to come and make a few jokes, make some dollars, because our people are ignorant and unconscious, and they'll show up for things like that. But on the other end, you wouldn't promote the film Gentrified. That's 45 minutes away. So this is what I mean by the unconscious, so-called conscious people, where we will keep information from our people and throw out ignorance for the masses, because we know that the masses are becoming more enslaved by mass media and entertainment. So while we are on the sinking ship, while we're on the Titanic, some folks are standing on the top of the Titanic trying to go into people's pockets trying to grab people's watches and people's valuables, their money out of their pocketbook, just because you like if you all saw Titanic, the people try to climb all the way up to the top, like you know waiting for the inevitable. Hmm? And this is what we have people, for instance, in Baltimore that will promote Dick Gregory versus promoting a film like Gentrified if they're not necessarily getting paid for it. And I just mentioned that because I didn't get paid to promote the 13th, and it doesn't take much to promote it, but we need to be thinking as organizers, as individuals who are fighting, for justice, fighting for freedom, that if we can raise the consciousness of the prison and how the prison industry is in fact legal slavery. People want to do lectures on slavery. Folk want to do go build museums. And yes, I've been to the museum, but we still have a legal system existing right now. And the question is, are we reaching our young people? And where are we encouraging our young people to think long term about these actions that we are taking? I'm sorry, I got this detox tea. Woo, some strong stuff. But we have to ask our young people what actions are they taking? And raise, they're gonna have to grow up real fast. That developmental mind is gonna have to develop fast, where they're gonna have to discern and be able to communicate to the world who they are and where they stand, so that they can maneuver without getting this brand. This is like branding you like a slave, giving you this and telling you are a felon and that you are going to be a permanent underclass. And so I have to say that in closing, I definitely will be sharing more over the next few years. And quote on one barrel statistic, 1 in 3 black men can expect to go to prison in their lifetime. Read that. How many people in prison? I think it's something. 2 million individuals in prison in the United States. So I'm heading this evening to Bowie State University. I'll be honored there. Definitely, I'll be honored there by the Black Male Gender Group, 3 p.m. So looking forward to that. So more and more brothers and sisters are waking up. So I want you all to share. Yes, you like my shirt, Born Naughty. Shout out to the sister that gave me this shirt down in North Carolina. I had to flex her shirt for her. Do my little modeling thing. So definitely, brothers and sisters. So definitely, I'll be at Bowie State today. I'll be honored by the Black Male Gender Group. They brought several leaders, scholars, thinkers to Bowie State over the years. Strong brothers there. So keep it going. Get my book. Go to successscholarhaki.com and support the movement. I'm working on several books. And if you want to be a part of this divine, empowering, uplifting movement of the Success Scholar, what I'm saying is we have a definitive strategy and movement in place to empower and transform our people. So we have partners in places and allies. So I say stay connected, join a real movement, share this video, share my other videos, be on the right side of history as we go forward. All right, peace.